Hello everyone. Most of us have never touched a bearing, a bush, or a thrust washer. But every engine you've ever sat behind, your scooter, your car, a generator, even the compressor in your air conditioner, has depended on one. These small, unglamorous metal parts sit between moving surfaces and quietly stop them from grinding apart. Nobody thinks about them until they fail. Today's company has been making exactly these parts since 1991 from a single manufacturing hub in Western India. No consumer brand, no social media presence. Yet its return on capital has crossed 25%, and the exchange itself recently asked the company to explain a sudden spike in trading volume. As always, we look at the numbers first, without the name attached. The identity comes at the end. Boring product, sharp stock move, that combination is exactly why this business deserves 15 minutes of your attention today. The company manufactures critical engine components, bimetal bearings, bushes, thrust washers, and flange bearings, used in automotive engines, compressors, generators, marine engines, and earth-moving equipment. It runs three segments: bimetal products, the original core business, aluminium die casting, built around a separately branded subsidiary, and a new braking systems line under its own subsidiary. Everything comes out of one facility, in a region known as an auto component manufacturing hub. Two very different customer types here. Original equipment manufacturers need a steady, certified supply built to exact tolerances. A single bad batch can cause real downstream damage, so OEMs rarely switch suppliers once trust is established. Then there's the aftermarket, replacement parts through distributors and retailers, servicing engines already on the road. This is steadier, repeat-driven demand, not tied to how many new vehicles sell each year. Export markets add a third leg, contributing meaningfully to revenue and diversifying the business away from being purely a bet on the Indian auto cycle. OEM trust, aftermarket stability, export diversification, that's the demand base. Auto components in India is a large, fragmented, intensely competitive industry. This company sits in one corner of it, bearings, bushes, washers, alongside far larger, globally recognized names and several closer-sized peers. It's not the market leader by scale. It competes on precision, reliability, and three-decade relationships, not sheer size. So where's the edge? An automotive quality certification that's close to a hygiene requirement for OEM supply, but one not every smaller player maintains well. A stated on-time delivery record, positioning it as a dependable, ship-to-use partner. And 3 decades of relationships in a business where switching a certified supplier is genuinely costly for the customer. None of this is a wide moat like a consumer brand. It's a boring, earned reliability premium that's hard for a new entrant to replicate quickly. Now the numbers. Sales were roughly flat between FY23 and FY24, then rose to 243 crore in FY25 and 294 crore in FY26, up around 21% year-on-year. Net profit followed a sharper path, dipping from 33 crore in FY23 to the mid-20s through FY24 and FY25, then jumping to 38 crore in FY26, up roughly 54%. That's an inflection, not a straight line. Operating margins had actually drifted down through FY24 into FY25 before recovering sharply in recent quarters. Especially the quarter ending March 2026, when margins jumped back to around 25% after sitting in the high teens for over a year. A recovery concentrated in 1 or 2 quarters deserves more scrutiny than a smooth multi-year trend would. The returns tell the same story. ROCE moved from 22% in FY24 down to 20% in FY25, then up to roughly 25.5% in FY26. ROE followed a similar shape, finishing FY26 near 22.2%. A ROE consistently above 20% means the company is growing profitably without needing outsized capital. But the FY25 dip followed by a sharp FY26 recovery raises the same question every time: genuine step change or cyclical bounce? The balance sheet, meanwhile, is conservatively built. Borrowings rose from 15 to 47 crore over 4 years, but reserves grew faster, from 128 to 180 crore, growth funded mostly through retained earnings, not debt. Dividend payout has stayed steady, between 29 and 52% of profit. A few risks worth naming plainly. Customer concentration. Losing a key OEM account can meaningfully affect a company this size. Cyclicality tied to the broader auto sector, since bearings demand moves with vehicle production volumes. Working capital trends. The cash conversion cycle has lengthened from 121 to 146 days over 4 years, driven by rising debtor days. Small scale relative to bigger global peers, which matters in pricing power. And margin volatility. The recent recovery needs more quarters of confirmation before it's called structural. Also worth noting, in June 2026, the exchange sought clarification on a sharp volume spike, and the company attributed it to normal market activity with no undisclosed price-sensitive information. Not unusual for a smaller, less liquid stock, but worth being aware of. A quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only, not investment advice. Please consult a SEBI-registered advisor before making any investment decisions. At the current price, the company trades at a market cap of roughly 1,111 crore, a trailing PE of about 25.3, and a book value of 33.1 rupees per share. A PE in the mid-20s isn't cheap for an auto component maker this size, against peers ranging from high teens to high 20s. The market already seems to be pricing in the FY26 profit jump continuing. The real question isn't whether this is a good business, it's whether the recent improvement has been priced incorrectly. To sum up, a focused, 3-decade niche player, not the market leader by scale. FY26 marked a clear step up, revenue up 21%, profit up 54%, rose near 25.5%. A conservative, retained earnings funded balance sheet. Rising debtor days worth tracking. And a valuation that already assumes this recovery is durable. This is a smaller, focused player in a large, fragmented industry, with 3 decades of OEM relationships and a genuinely healthy return profile. A soft couple of years followed by a sharp recent recovery is exactly the kind of pattern that needs a few more quarters of confirmation before it becomes the new normal. It's a business built on being dependable, in a category most people never think about. So, which company is it? Every number, chart, and risk in this video comes straight from a full second source report, including the company's identity, ticker, and complete financial history. That report goes live Thursday, 23rd July, as a paid case study. Links in the description below. If you found this useful, do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.